Hello again. Another year has passed us all by. Where did the time go? 2024, we hardly knew ye, blah, blah, blah. Before turning ahead and bravely facing all the wonderful events surely to come in 2025, we here at Kale Your Idols always like to take a moment to pause and reflect back on the past year in cinema and give you our top 5 picks for the best and most exciting films of the year. But before we get to that, given the fact that we are a new Hollywood podcast, we will of course be going through our top 5 films of 1974 first. Half a century might have passed, but a lot of these movies are so well remembered that they might as well have been released yesterday. 1974 versus 2024. What a matchup. Who could possibly foresee the winner?
Welcome to Kale Your Idols, a new Hollywood podcast with your hosts,
Sam Ludwig
and Alana Gibson. This is a podcast about film. Primarily, we discuss movies, directors, actors, and writers known for their work during the new Hollywood era of studio filmmaking that began in 1967 with Bonnie and Clyde and The Graduate, and pretty much ended in the early 80s with One from the Heart and Heaven's Gate. In this episode, we are ringing in the new year and counting down our top films of 1974 and 2024.
Yay.
You seem a little less enthused than I'd expect for an end-of-the-year episode. Why is that, Sam?
Do you think of me as being enthusiastic about end-of-year episodes? I remember my dad, when I was a kid, was always making fun of me for liking listicles. I would ask my dad about, like, what was this decade like? What was this year like? And he would roll his eyes so hard and be like, it's not like a thing. It's, you know, it's just time marching on. Why do you have to, you know, make these like stupid little lists and, you know, collate your thoughts? And I was like, that's fun, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear some film podcasts where they have their top 5 lists or their top 10 lists, but they're always shitting on the concept of making lists in the first place.
Right.
And
it's not cool to make a list.
Right. It's not cool to do that, but I think they're fun. And
I do too.
I love end of the year episodes. I love making my top 5 lists. You are not as excited though about this year.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, look, yes. I don't know why I'm mincing words about this. I am not as excited about the year 2024 in film as I was about 2023. Spoiler alert. I think it was a much more evenly matched contest between the years the last time we did this episode versus this year. I mean, but it's like, isn't this obvious? Like, this is a notably weak year for film because of a lot of logistical reasons, right? Like because of the strike, because of the strike last year sort of affected release dates. It was a weak year for film, like literally. Nobody would claim that it was as strong. We had so many auteur directors making big movies last year. We've had very few this year. Like who was the biggest auteur that had a movie come out this year, do you think?
Wim Wenders, maybe?
Yes, Wim Wenders. I guess also, you know, there was a Coppola film of note.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this year. We also had a Clint Eastwood movie that was pretty well received. Kevin Costner.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. I was going to ask, do you think he's an auteur director?
Yeah, he's an auteur.
He's an auteur director. Sean Baker, too. I guess, do we count Jason Reitman as an auteur? No. But Ridley Scott, too, also came out with Gladiator 2. So we had some auteurs making movies this year. But, do you know what I mean? Like, it was just, there were so many movies last year that it was like a lot of tight races for Oscars. You didn't feel like this was a weak year?
I think it was a somewhat weak year. But I think sometimes if you only look at a single year in cinema, to some degree it always feels like a weak year.
Well, I'm only pointing to the fact that there were sort of like actual things you could point to that made the flow of movies less this year. There were fewer movies by big studios. Fewer theatrical releases than ever.
Yeah,
maybe you didn't
know
notice this, and maybe you didn't notice this, and this isn't a thing for you.
I know what you're talking about, but I felt like there were also a lot of indie films this year.
Right. Well, so yeah, I think that. Do you want to talk about like? I feel like there will be 2 kinds of lists that arise from this year that other critics and film podcasters are going to make, and maybe ours will come out looking somewhat like that. But I think there's going to be kind of like a middle brow, big movie. Like Conclave is going to be on a lot of those lists.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's the indie foreign grouping of movies where people who like, I feel like it's really going to bring out a side of certain people who like only like that kind of, or like they're only going to like that stuff that came out this year.
I don't think there'll be a lot of mixing of the two lists.
Right. But maybe on this podcast there will, because we are very interesting people.
Let's find out. But first, we got to go back and do our top 5 films of 1974, because we are a new Hollywood podcast. And we think it's interesting to compare this year to a year that happened 50 years ago.
I wouldn't say that my enthusiasm for 1974 is markedly at a fever pitch compared to my enthusiasm for 2024. What are your thoughts on the year as a whole, 1974?
I think there were amazing movies in 1974, but some of the best movies of 1974 aren't ones that connected with me on an emotional level, or they're ones that I have always known were amazing movies, and so it was less exciting to discover new movies this year when we were watching a lot of stuff, because it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of the ones I already knew. But I did discover some that I will now cherish forever, so I am excited to talk about 1974.
You said it best. It's stuff that I don't necessarily emotionally connect to, but I accept is very great. Like, it's got a lot of movies that are sort of like exactly the movies you think about whenever you talk about New Hollywood.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of those are not on my list, because I only put ones on my list that I really felt connected to. This
is a time in New Hollywood where stuff has kind of reached cruising altitude a little bit, I would say, before you get into the next... I mean, the 4-year sounds exactly like what I'm describing. But, like, before you get into the next wave, you know, there's the beginnings of Spielberg in this year. But this is more just like Coppola, Bogdanovich, Friedkin, all these people. They're kind of at the height of their powers. They're being given a lot of freedom by the studios to make projects that they want to do, and they come out very well, and people like those movies. Talking about movies like Godfather 2 and Chinatown and stuff, right? I mean, we could say these things. This is like, you know, we know, you know, the conversation, sure. Yeah, the both 2 Coppola movies. Yeah.
I would say those 3 movies are all very similar in a sense that they are, like, by many people's standards, masterpieces, and yet they are all a little cold in a way and don't have some of the grittiness that I love about other New Hollywood films. They are almost a little too good and a little too polished for my taste. Although I'm not saying none of those movies are on my list.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, those are the movies that we're talking about. We're talking about here, where it's like very impressive, but a little bit to the side of stuff that connotes our taste.
Yes.
Right.
But we acknowledge that they are,
and we'll talk
films.
about we will talk about those 3 movies.
Yes, for sure.
Like in honorable mentions or on our lists, whatever they are.
And they'll all have separate episodes as well.
A couple of trends. Just want to quickly say, you know, this is a year for directors. Talk about directors' power. Directors making 2 movies this year. You had 2 movies from Francis Ford Coppola, 2 movies that are considered 2 of his best. 2 movies from Mel Brooks, also 2 movies that are considered 2 of his best. 2 movies from Robert Altman. He's a little bit of an outlier here because he kind of just sometimes makes 2 movies, though they are 2 great movies. Thieves Like Us and California Split.
A trend I noticed was there were a lot of road movies and Bonnie and Clyde-esque movies in 1974, both foreign films and American films.
Yeah, we're moving into a real period piece time, I would say. It's just a lot of movies that I respect more than I love. In 74.
Sure.
I would say that's a good way to put it. You know, I'm doing a lot of, like, when I'm making these lists, I'm weighing different brilliantly made stuff that I don't respond to personally as much as I respond to the craft. And I do respond to the craft a lot. But, you know, even stuff like, there's some stuff that should be close to my taste, but it still has almost too much of a formalism for me to feel it in a way. And I almost said the name of a movie there, but I don't want to give it away because it might be on your list or it might be.
Well, let's just get to our list then. Okay. Let's not tiptoe around anymore. I will start us off.
Yes.
My number 5 is a movie that once we started it, I was like, I hate this. I hate this movie so much. This is not at all the kind of thing I want to be watching. And we almost turned it off. And I'm so happy we didn't, because it charmed the pants off of me. And it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I like that rough around the edges feel to it. And I love the heart of it. And this movie is Harry and Tonto, a Paul Mazursky film. Paul Mazursky, he's a director who we've been championing. We've been He's a director
We've
who
been
we've
champing at the bit to champion him.
He's a director who we've been championing. You say it.
We've been Jane Campion, champing at the bit to champion.
A director we love on this podcast.
Paul Mazursky.
Paul Mazursky. And yeah, this movie I initially hated because it's about an old guy. And I don't like old people.
Yeah.
But it's an old guy who, is complaining about how times have changed and nothing's the way you used to. And I hate that shit. But then he starts traveling and he starts interacting with young people, and he's just so open to everything he sees. And I love that so much. Paul Mazursky's characters are always so open to life and open to change and open to unique experiences. And that's what really captured me about this film.
Art Carney won Best Actor for this film. Art Carney, best known as Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners, had a sort of career revival in the mid-'70s because of this movie. I guess it's a sort of Mazursky doing a Tarantino-esque pulling an actor out of semi-obscurity. And, he represents such an old-fashioned sensibility because he is from the 50s, even though he's playing much older than he actually was, right? Like, he's playing 20 years older than he actually is. I think.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But yeah, so he has the playfulness and the joie de vivre that makes you want to follow him along and follow him along on his adventures and engaging with the counterculture. And he's got a wry smile about it, but he's also just very much like, this stuff sounds kind of cool. I don't know. Buddhism, free love, that sounds interesting.
It's just charming to see his embrace of the world that he interacts in. So that's my number 5. Sam, what is your number 5? They're sick right now. So, everybody give Sam a hand for pushing through their illness and recording despite all the congestion and nastiness stuck up in their nostrils. Way to go, Sam.
I love how you couldn't. You were trying to be supportive, but you still had this vaguely sarcastic tone.
No, I'm not.
When you're
like, sarcastic.
Yeah, way to go, Sam.
No,
they're really sick. So everybody just give them a little applause.
No, you are sick.
Yes,
it's
I am
impressive
sick, and
to
I should
record.
be.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
And I should be applauded.
Okay.
Okay, number 5, 1974. It's Celine and Julie Go Boating.
Why do you laugh at that? That's such a you pick.
Well, yes. No, that's the thing. When I look at at the list of movies that I didn't choose for this slot, it almost feels silly. So, Celine and Julie Go Boating is a 3-hour film directed by Jacques Rivette, right? He spent a summer in Paris sort of improvising this narrative with his 2 lead actresses who are named
Juliette Berthaud and Dominique Labourière.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not French. My pronunciations are terrible.
So this is so the reason why I was laughing at me picking it is because this is a 3-hour movie that I have seen once before. We watched it on a bus, I believe.
It was my second time seeing it, actually.
That was your second time seeing it?
I'd seen it before you had.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even remember.
Because I'm fucking cool.
You are very cool, and I was thinking about rewatching it because when I was it's a very boring movie. Okay, it's a little bit weird for me to how boring this movie is. It's kind of weird for me to have it on this list over other movies that I don't love as much, but that are just flat out more entertaining than this movie. It's a little bit of a, am I lying about, am I just trying to, I'm not usually worried about having a pretentious aspect to my taste. But I do wonder sometimes, do I actually like the thing, or do I just like the idea of what it puts in my brain?
No, I mean, it is rough around the edges in a similar way that I kind of liked the roughness of Harry and Tonto, although Harry and Tonto is not nearly the same as Celine and Julie Go Boating in terms of the roughness. Celine and Julie Go Boating is experimental. It's fucking weird, okay? So that is your taste in a lot of ways.
Yes, exactly. No, beguiling is the word with this movie. It beguiles you, and it is about witchcraft in a way. But it's a movie that what's so unusual about the way the narrative unfolds, it makes it less of a movie, but makes it more of an experience. But I don't even know if that's true, because I stopped watching this movie 5 times over my most recent rewatch.
It's the kind of movie you have to lock yourself in your house and finish it. Or you have to go see it in theaters where you can't escape.
Yeah.
Because your mind will wander. You'll want to pause. You'll want to get up. It's hard to get through, but it is cool. I'm glad I've seen it. It's not going to make my list, but...
It's incredibly cool, but it's also, like, funny and frothy and silly, which is not normally what you think of as far as, like, a boring movie.
It's super playful.
Yeah, like, so I'm just going to give you a quick, like, rundown of what... I feel like I can kind of explain what happens in Selena and Julie, because, like, this will only intrigue somebody more. I feel like I'm giving it a terrible advertisement in general. Like, this movie's 3 hours long. It's really boring. I can't believe I picked it. But... what's cool about it is it's this movie that's just a quirky hangout film between these two women who meet each other through a silly circumstance. It's got a lot of like Persona and Mulholland Drive like doubling aspects, where they're sort of like they take on each other's characteristics and stuff. But essentially what happens over the course of the film's 3-hour runtime is they become entranced by this house and these weird candies that allow them to go into the past first through they have these candies that essentially like let them time travel back into a story in which they are a character, or like they're playing a character in the story, and they each get to play the same person within this narrative. And the narrative that they jump into is this like melodramatic tale of murder, child murder, and these women who are lusting after this widower. And so it's a movie that's mostly about them like watching this story happen, and it's like all these shots of them just like sitting there with these lozenges in their mouth, just giggling at the story. So it's a movie that's about movies within movies. It's about the nature of storytelling. It's about being passive as a movie watcher versus being active within putting yourself in the story. But it's also just kind of a movie that's about like sitting next to your friend, getting high and watching shit.
Yeah.
Like, which, all of these things are very charming to me. And the nature of the way that the mystical elements of the movie unfold are, they never explain exactly what's happening. You just kind of slowly get what's happened. And it takes so long, and they have so many repetitive instances of the same things happening that you just sort of like absorb. You're like, oh, I guess, yeah, what's happening is they're time traveling or something, but they never like explicitly say that. And so that's both... like, I could see somebody getting bored by it, like, not knowing what's going on, but it's kind of like life in a way, I don't know. Like,
I think it is helpful to know a brief outline of the plot, like what Sam just described ahead of time, because if you start watching it, you might think to yourself, this is a totally plotless movie.
Right.
How am I going to sit through 3 hours of this? But if you know that there is some sort of plot coming your way,
right,
it'll give you a little bit more framework to enjoy what you're watching, I think.
Yeah, and it's about taking all these risks in narrative and filmmaking, right? Because again, like the plot that I said doesn't even really kick in until halfway through the movie, really.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of just spinning their wheels before this. So it's a movie that it's so experimental and experimental in a way that is not a kind of dark, oppressive... there's a certain kind of movie that's very popular now in foreign cinema and indie cinema that's very kind of like, oh, we're like being fucking dark and like that means depth. And this is a movie that's got real depth. It really stays with you, but it's a totally silly romp.
Yeah.
So,
and I enjoy that it's two characters encountering each other, and they're both very weird, and they both recognize a similarity and enjoy each other, and seeing two unique people bond is fun. Yeah. It makes me wish I was more unique.
Yeah.
Because then maybe I'd have stronger relationships, or like stronger friendships.
Well, that's the nature of what they're doing in the movie is like you don't want to be watching the movie. You want to be in the movie.
Yeah.
You should watch the movie. I really do really love it. I fully understand that there is nobody in the world that I couldn't imagine turning it off and getting bored, and I would accept that. You know what I mean?
No pressure. No pressure. Finish it.
I really do. It is an unusual. I am unusually like willing to accept people's boredom about it. For movies. So.
I personally am the type of person who enjoys boring movies sometimes, as long as there is art behind it.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Sometimes movies should just be a little bit
meditative.
More work. Yeah, meditative. Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, my number 4 is a Christmas movie. Actually, it's Black Christmas.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I only recently saw it for the first time, and I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be gross, like just from the cover of the film. I'm not really that much of like a horror person, but I just thought it was a really fun movie and really well done. It is one of the first slasher films.
This is kind of one of the first slasher years.
Yeah, this and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah.
Yeah, and they're straddling the line between exploitation films and going more mainstream. They're still mostly exploitation films at this point, as Black Christmas, I think, was.
Black Christmas wasn't...
It was a studio film?
It wasn't nearly as exploitation as Texas Chainsaw Massacre in terms of the content. Like, it wasn't that gross to watch. And it was just narratively engaging. It's like about a sorority house. They just curse and they don't behave the way you'd expect young ladies to behave. And it was very fun to see the 1970s version of that. So anyways, I surprised myself at how good of a time I had watching it. And I thought the story was really engaging and it was well done. And I love Christmas movies. So did you end up watching it or no?
No, I didn't watch it. Should I venture a guess and say that, like, is that the only slasher movie that's going to be on your list?
Yes.
I figured. So you like it more than Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yes, which maybe we'll have a chance to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre later. But yeah, I liked it way more than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Interesting.
It wasn't as beautiful in terms of cinematography.
That would be what I was about to say.
But the content was way better.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a little thin. You could say.
I'd say so. Personally, I know so many people love that movie, but I was very underwhelmed.
I think the beauty of the cinematography.
That's just not enough for me.
And then
make
like
that
movie's just like a really good like nature film. Like there's just like a lot of great shots of like fields and forests and stuff.
Yeah, that's true, but again, that's not enough to be a good movie for me. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, for my 2024 list, Nosferatu, not on my list. It is gorgeous, but it's mainly just gorgeous. Like, for me, cinematography is not enough.
Why I'm remarking on the cinematography in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is I feel that's the beauty of the cinematography kind of sneaks up on you. Like, because it's not exactly a movie that's looking at beautiful things.
Right.
So it's a little bit interesting juxtaposition.
That's true.
There, but it's not on my list either. Okay, I'm sorry. Like I'm just gonna spoil it for you. Like,
okay.
I figured I just kind of wanted to say a couple things about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Beautiful nature photography. I also love, leather. The pathos of Leatherface trying to put a dinner party together. I think is very funny and interesting as far as silent murderer characters go.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was too thin for me, too gross. I don't like that much gore. I didn't like the characters that much.
It's got pretty good wheelchair user representation. I would have to say, like, he's a pretty interesting character as far as,
but he just dies. I guess I shouldn't spoil that.
Spoiler: one of the characters dies, and
he's not actually that active, though, in my opinion.
No, but I just like you do. I feel like you do. I mean, I guess. In Black Christmas, right? Like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like they're doing the hey, they're shitty people, so we don't care if they die kind of thing a little bit. In Black Christmas, are they better people? Yeah,
actually, it turns out only one of them is like this over the top kind of shitty girl, and she's not like shitty like a bad person. She just like curses a lot, and she's just funny. Like she's just like a clear slut of the movie. But no, the characters are, in my opinion, pretty good in Black Christmas. All right, what's your number 4?
It is J'ai tu LL. It's my number 4 film. I kind of can't believe it.
You have 2 very boring movies back to back on your list.
Yes, but the comparison between those 2 movies is stark to me. Like, J'ai tu LL is boring for a half hour at the beginning. And then the boringness has built up within you to propel you through the rest of the one remaining hour in the movie. Whereas Celine and Julie Go Boating remains very boring the entire way through.
I thought Je tu LL is boring the entire way through. I just think like there's more sex farther in, and therefore it was more entertaining to you because of that. But I thought it was cool. It's a cool movie. It's a Chantal Akerman movie.
So what this movie is it starts off with it's just Chantal Akerman playing just her character have a name?
Julie.
Okay. So she's just sitting in her apartment, like eating sugar, and there's voiceover statements. And we were sort of wondering, like, whether the voiceover came first, like if she was acting out stuff in the voiceover, or if they added the voiceover later to...
Like, there was clearly a disconnect between the voiceover and the images you were seeing. Like, they were not perfectly synced up in time, but the correlation between the timing of them changed as you were watching it.
Sometimes you can assume it's maybe a thought that she's having, and then she does the thing. And sometimes you can wonder happening at the same time, and sometimes it seems like maybe she's talking about something that happened a while ago. But what happens is basically, so you're just seeing her do these actions, like, again, like eating sugar and just, like, lying down. And as we were watching it, I was like, well, this is, the ultimate museum piece, right? Which is kind of a term for a certain kind of film that is essentially not for the purposes of entertaining anybody.
Think Andy Warhol, like the Empire State Building.
Right. And but then, as we said, some people even say that, Stalker or Andrei Rublev are museum pieces too.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't either. But the artistic daringness of, just having, like, a lady in black and white in an apartment that is not furnished, just, like, lying in a bed on the floor for a half hour, saying things, or, like, having things said in front of her by her thoughts. Like, this is boring. And the whole time I was like, I don't understand what people mean when they say they really love these movies. Like, are you just really appreciating it? But then what happens is she goes out of the apartment, and you're now seeing how she is perceiving other people in the world because you know who she is, because you sat in that room alone with her, and also seeing how different she feels when she is being seen by other people in the world. Like, she's saying very few things. It's mostly like she's listening to other people talk. It's like that feeling of, like, how different we all are when we're just around different people or when we're alone and stuff. And it really was incredibly powerful. And I was so down on the movie at first and, like, rolling my eyes at it. And then it won me over so hard that I was like, I really love this movie. Like, I fully get the effect that she's going for. And I kind of can't wait to have it done to me on Jean Dielman, which just seems like this times 10.
For me, my interpretation of the film was that she is going through a breakup in the beginning, right, and is going through a depressive episode dealing with the breakup, indulging in that breakup blues for quite a while, and squeezing out as much poeticism as she can through it, and then going back out into the world and becoming a sexual person again, that's with new people and with old people, like people from her past. And it's an LGBTQ film.
I was just about to say, it's a queer movie, and a kind of a good queer movie, I would say.
The effect that it has where you are just with her for so long, alone in her room, and then suddenly it's exciting to see her with other people. It reminded me of the effect that you get from watching A Ma Sœur, or A Fat Girl. Yep. Which, if you haven't seen that film, I don't want to spoil anything about it, but it's I highly recommend it, sort of.
Let's just say hypnotic until it's not hypnotic.
Yes. Although I think that there's some really, like, bad stuff surrounding that film in terms of, like,
what the actors went through?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Catherine Breillat had a new movie this year.
I know, we didn't see it.
Last summer, neither of us saw it. We did want to, but that's on our list of movies that we didn't see. By the way, do you want to take a quick second? How many movies did you see this year?
1974, or just total number of movies I saw?
Do you want to talk about all of those things, or do you want to just talk about 1974?
I'll do total movies at the end. So the total number of 1974 films I watched this year was 36. I could have done better, but also not bad.
I did 46, and it felt like this is not a year that I think has a lot of hidden gems.
Yeah.
Like, this is a year where the top 10 biggest movies are probably kind of the same for most people, no matter how weird you are.
Yeah, like, I did try to branch out and watch a lot of 1974 films that were not the obvious ones, and I'd watch them and I'd be like, yeah, well, that wasn't that good.
It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, like when we watched 11 Harrow House, like, it was shit.
We're talking about Celine and Julie Go Boating and Je tu LL being these, like, boring movies. You do not have to go too far in, like, a Reddit discussion of the best movies of 74. Like, they're right up there with, like, these are kind of not even, like, weird picks, as weird as they sound.
Right.
So, yeah. So I watched, 46, as I said, and felt low to me too. Like, it felt like I probably watched more 73 movies because I was excited about more movies.
I mean, 46 is a good number.
Yeah, you're right. I'm great. Do you want to do your number 3 or number 4?
Yeah, I'll do my number 3. My number 3 for 1974 is my only non-new Hollywood film, actually, on my list, which I'm ashamed about. Like, I wish I had more foreign films on my list this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of beating you there.
You already got 2 on your list.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is Going Places, or Les Versus. Sorry for mispronouncing that. It's a French sex comedy film by director Bertrand Blier, based on his own novel. And it's just a very vulgar film about these 2 ne'er-do-wells.
Rapists?
They just go around sexually assaulting women.
The beginning of the movie is them chasing a woman and intimidating her and
grabbing her ass.
It's very interesting to me that you like this movie.
I know. Okay.
Go on.
Nobody is more surprised than I. They straight up
but you were
are
like
rapists and sexual.
No, but you had a smile on your face from like the very beginning too, like a crazy person.
I can't help it. And the worst part is like, okay, you can show characters doing bad behavior. The question is, how does the movie treat them?
Oh.
This movie treats them as charming as fuck. So, like, I'm a terrible person that this is my number 3 film.
But, like, okay, but is that really true? Like, do you think that the movie actually... the movie can't... It's clearly commenting on sexual assault by showing it so brazenly.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly not great dudes.
Yeah, they're shown to be bad.
Yeah. I think the only woman who straight up gets raped ends up this doesn't redeem it at all,
yeah.
but she ends up liking it and joining their gang. Yeah. So obviously that's fucked up. I don't know what to say about this movie to make it okay that it's on my list, but there are some hilarious sequences and some touching sequences. There's a sequence in the middle that has an aging Jean Moreau in it, and it's just a really, really charming sequence. I kind of want to spoil the setup for the sequence.
Go ahead.
So go ahead and skip it forward. I'm not going to spoil what happens in the end.
I'm sure everybody in this is so excited to watch Going Places after this description.
Okay, first I'll say this one little thing just to tell you the kind of comedy. At one point after they kidnap a woman, they let her go and they say, before you go, can we touch your ass hairs? Because it's lucky to touch something dirty. So that's the kind of comedy you get. You watch them stick their hand down her pants.
No, it's weird because she's happy about it at first. And then she's like, I didn't realize it was good luck. And they're like, yeah, it's good luck to touch something dirty. And then her smile fades and she's like, oh.
Yeah, because they're saying you're dirty. And she's just like, dirty. I thought it was cute that you went to touch my ass hairs. But once they say it's dirty, yeah, she's offended. Yeah. But then you watch her get out of the truck while they're both smelling their fingers with a smile on their face. And it's I don't know why.
You're doubling over.
The movie's charming, okay? It's got Gerard Depardieu.
Everyone's favorite person.
I guess he's a bad guy. This is what Sam tells me. I haven't looked into him that much. I wouldn't be surprised that he's a terrible human. But he's got this, French masculinity that's, sorry, it's charming.
So you feel like he's masculine, but Jean-Paul Belmondo, that's a French femininity.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Gerard Depardieu,
it's the
that's
way they move
masculine.
their bodies.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Okay, but there's a sequence in the middle. I just want to highlight maybe what touching aspects there are about this film, because there are some. Okay,
why do you like it?
Because you've seen it before, but it's been a while, and you rewatched half of it with me last night, but you fell asleep before the sequence. So let me just remind you about this sequence. So they're having sex with this one girl, and she's just not that into it. She's like, yeah, I like that you're having sex with me, but she's not coming. She's not reacting or responding to the sex at all. And they're like, we're sick of fucking women who don't seem to like it that much. We want to fuck a woman who just really wants to be having sex with us. So the one character is like, I have the best idea. I have my most brilliant idea yet. This is a foolproof way to find a woman who really wants to have sex with us. And it's they go to a women's prison, and they wait for the next woman to be released from prison, and they think this chick has not had sex for so long, she's gonna want to fuck. And so it's Jean.
Your eyes are tearing up right now.
It's actually a beautiful sequence because it's Jean Moreau, and she just takes over the movie during this middle sequence where they don't tell her what they want from her, and she's very suspicious of them, but they win her over in the end. They take her shopping because her clothes are not fit for the weather that's going on right now. It's like kind of cold and rainy. So they dress her up and they take her to a fancy restaurant, and she's just having this really spiritual experience with the food. And she has this conversation with the waitress that's like, you should be so lucky that you still get your period. I stopped getting my period in jail. And there's this whole thing about like her talking about periods and what women's prison does to women in there and like what the experience is. I don't know. I just thought that was like such a moment of her like taking up her space and talking about things that you wouldn't expect in this movie. And she's just really touched. And then during dinner, she's like, would you two consider having sex with me? That's like, I just want, I want to experience life again. So I don't know. You have to watch it. I mean, you don't have to watch it because it's like, if you don't want to see sexual assault, don't watch this movie.
I'm just like, I'm intrigued by like, you're not somebody who likes transgressive humor particularly, right?
There is.
What is it about this movie?
I don't know. I don't know what it is about this movie.
I get that the tone does win you over in a weird way.
Yeah.
And like, there's something about them. I guess it's the way that everybody else reacts to them. Like, because they sort of sometimes get like chased with pitchforks.
Right.
In a very cartoony way. Like, it's like they're kind of cartoon
comedic
rapists in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so is that what it is? Like, what do you respond to so much? It's your number 3 movie of 1974, a year that includes Godfather 2 and Chinatown.
I just don't know what to tell you, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I first saw this movie like 8 years ago, and it's stuck with me. I think about it a lot.
This is the same as Celine and Julie for me.
I don't know what to tell you. There are some great sequences. Like, there's just a sequence where, like, he's going into a store, Depardieu's going to a store because he just stole some money and he wants to buy some stuff. And he goes into this like face-off confrontation with the security guard who's like, you're a piece of shit. And he's like, yeah, well, you like talking to me. Like, this is a fun for you. I don't know.
Yeah, that part
like
was very
back
funny,
and forth.
yeah.
Like, the movie's full of little touches like that. The movie has terrible morals. Terrible, terrible morals. But everything else about it is like kind of beautiful. And they're going through the French countryside, and you see some really lovely scenes and like really lovely shots of France. And it's a road film, and unfortunately the guys are super fucking charming, and it's very 70s. I don't know. It's terrible that it's on my list, but it is, and I'd be lying if it wasn't there.
There's some Sean Baker DNA in there. With Red Rocket, maybe?
Yeah,
where
totally.
a certain kind of like, yes, this is horrible, but it's also kind of life. Like, This is kind of like a lot of times people get away with this shit, and no one's really even that mad. I don't, it's.
And it has its own set of morals where, like.
Yeah, the other people react to them in a way that's not quite as. Shocked as a real person.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and they care a lot about the other characters having the sexual experiences that they feel. Like, there's one part where the girl who doesn't come a lot, she really wants to have an orgasm, and they're driving, and she's like, I want to have sex right now. And he's like, we're driving, we can't pull over, like, we're running from the law. And then the other guy's like, look, but you know her situation. Like, this is really important to her. Like, you have to fuck her in the backseat while I'm driving, okay? Like, he's doing it for her.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I can't describe. It has its own moral code, and it's not a correct moral code.
There's that other part, too, where, like, the one guy who's gone really crazy because he's been mutilated wants to get revenge, and he's like feverishly describing like, we're gonna set up this thing and then he'll fucking die, like we'll kill him. And Gerard Depardieu's being very like, okay, man, sure, like yeah, and you can tell that he's like a little bit disturbed by his friend going too far, even if he does think the guy probably should get murdered or something, or he's not really like against this.
They still go along with the
plot. Right. So it's there are these weird moments where they have a sense of shame or something.
The moral compass is strange and weirdly delicate, but it's a movie that just stuck with me, and I can't get it out of my head, so it's my number 3 for 1974.
Well, is this going to be like all-time list of movies that we're like half-heartedly recommending other people watch? These movies are great, but like I get it if you don't want to watch them.
Yeah, maybe.
Because otherwise we would just be like Godfather 2, The Conversation, Chinatown. Like,
that'd be
the most boring fucking list ever, and not
boring.
really representative of us.
Right, exactly. I wanted a list that was more representative of our tastes. Your number 3.
My number 3, and okay, I promise no more boring movies. Okay, it's all thrill rides from here on out.
Okay.
Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Fun. It's not on my list.
Okay.
because I felt like Going Places, Les Vertus is its own road film. Like, they're similar.
Yeah, sort of.
I think they're very similar. I think they're both road film, Bonnie and Clyde-esque.
Yes. They're a road film, and they're a duo.
Yeah, two men.
This is a matchup between Clint Eastwood and a young Jeff Bridges.
It's really fun.
It's really fun, and it's Michael Cimino's first movie. And Michael Cimino's a director that I've never really responded to that much. We both watched it for the first time this year, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
I think it was my first Michael Cimino movie.
Yeah. So he did The Deer Hunter and Heaven's Gate. And The Deer Hunter's not a movie that I've ever really had much interest in. I mean, I've watched it. It's just like, I don't really care that much. Maybe we'll rewatch it and I'll get more out of it. But the thing that I really liked about Thunderbolt and Lightfoot was it was the best kind of energy of a director trying to prove themselves. And it's just this movie that's so extreme. Like, a thing will happen that's really wild. It's kind of going to be hard to describe specific things because I don't remember that much stuff that happens. But it's like, it's not just like a car crash. It's like a car crashes into a library and books come flying out, and then like a nerdy kid comes up and steals a book, kind of shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's full of all sorts of life. It's full of all sorts of like little tiny visual jokes that happen. It's very quirky characters. Jeff Bridges gives an incredible performance in which that we call that was sort of similar to his Iceman Cometh performance, a performance that involves a certain amount of like a character degrading, shall we say? Like he goes through extreme physical changes. And it's a movie it's extremely fun, it's extremely violent, it's extremely exciting, but it ends up being kind of sad.
Yes.
In a way that is earned.
Yeah.
For an action comedy, for an action romp, you know.
As is the way of most Bonnie and Clyde-esque films, I'd say.
Yeah, but this is...
But maybe it earns it
This
more
is sad
than
in a
others.
way that's more sad and not just like, well, that's what you get kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I wish that I had rewatched it more recently because I wish that I could point out specific things that happen in it. But I just remember really, really loving it. And I from this first second that we watched it, I was like, well, that's definitely going on my list unless something knocks it off. And nothing did. Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, this is, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. You will be entertained. It'll blow you away. It's a wonderful film.
This is probably the first film that we've encountered on either of our top 5 lists, which we can definitely say is worth a watch for you.
So worth a watch. Like, Steve, I know you never want to watch any fucking movies that we recommend on the show, but I would be interested in your thoughts on Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Sam's just directly talking to his friend.
Steve, my God, watch Thunderbolt. I don't know. Maybe you won't even like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Who knows?
I don't think everybody will necessarily like it, but I think it's a fun movie. It's a heartfelt movie.
It retains a certain me aspect. Like, I love maximalist work. I love stuff with a lot of what Mad Magazine calls chicken fat, which is just like a lot of extra little details added. Like, it's just a movie that like you can just imagine it being very frustrating to make because there's just always so many things that have to happen in every scene. Like, no scene just sits there and is content to just have one thing happen and then you sit in it. It's like, we're on to the next thing, and the next thing is 5 things.
Okay.
You want to do your number 3? Or your number 2?
My number 2
okay.
I'm cheating here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm cheating. It's a tie.
Oh, it's a tie?
It's a tie because...
Are you going to do... Okay, what?
Yeah, my number 2 is Blazing Saddles / Young Frankenstein. And the only reason I'm putting them together is because they genuinely, for me, would be back-to-back on my list. They're by the same director. So I just thought it was okay to smush them together into my number 2. I have a hard time saying which one is better.
This is a total cheat. This is absolute bullshit.
The list can be whatever the fuck we want.
If you say so, it's just like, well, okay, I guess it does say something if you consider Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles to be almost interchangeable as far as level of quality, because I strongly disagree. And by the way, Blazing Saddles was number 2 on my list.
Okay, cool.
So but not Young Frankenstein, and Young Frankenstein will be nowhere near even my honorable mentions.
Oh, that's crazy. For me, I'm not saying they're interchangeable as in they're the same movie. Like, they both have totally different strengths. Like, to me, Blazing Saddles is way, way funnier.
Yes.
But Young Frankenstein is a better movie in a more technical sense.
And as far as a screenwriting structural...
Yeah.
Like, Frankenstein movie, it's
no, I mean, like, story-wise, cinematography... It's like, I just think it's more of a movie, whereas Blazing Saddles is more of a vehicle for hilarious jokes.
Blazing Saddles is a movie that I care about as an adult. Young Frankenstein is a movie I haven't cared about since I was 8.
I've always loved Young Frankenstein, so.
Do we have much more to say about Young Frankenstein? We just talked about it.
No, we just talked. We had a whole episode on it, so I don't think I need to say that much about Young Frankenstein.
Blazing Saddles, though?
I just think it's really funny. They played it in the AMC this year, so I got to see it in theaters, and it killed. Everybody in the audience was cracking up.
It's a total travesty that you put Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles in one slot.
If
you had to choose one, which some would say you were asked to do, but so
I can't. You
can't.
I'm sorry. I can't. Don't ask me.
They're two. What? It's just one guy made them?
It depends on like the time of year and what kind of movie I want. I think it's fine that I put both of them as a tie on my top 2. I'm allowed to do whatever I want on
I think
my
it's
list.
okay that you think it's fine, but I'm just going to tell you that I am not endorsing that.
Okay,
I don't
fine.
think it's fine.
I don't have any more ties anywhere on my list.
Good God, if you did, what would we be doing here? Okay, number 1. Do you think we're going to have the same number 1?
Maybe. My number one is...
I guess not.
My number one's obvious.
Is it Chinatown?
Yeah.
Number 1 is Chinatown.
My number one's Chinatown.
Okay, go ahead.
I did the boring pick, and I rewatched it maybe a month and a half ago, and my first time I watched it, I was like, that's a good movie, but it didn't really hit me. And rewatching it, I just thought it was excellent on a technical level, on a storytelling level. I love film noirs. It had this dark aspect that everybody knows about that elevates it or whatever. I hate using that term.
But it's an interesting kind of elevation, too. When I first watched Chinatown, and even when I knew what the twists were and stuff, I didn't really take on board how much this was twisting film noir tropes.
Yeah.
About the idea of the femme fatale. It's like, well, maybe femme fatales, sometimes they're not as evil and as conniving as you think.
Right.
There might be other stuff going on.
Right.
As there would be, no doubt, in any kind of real-life situation where a woman hires a detective like this.
Yeah, femme fatales are not real people.
It's kind of a bullshit idea, right?
It absolutely is 100%.
And I think that's a really interesting reversal.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson's obviously incredible.
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway, though, is really, really good.
Yes.
That's my favorite Dunaway role.
Yeah. I'm super problematic this year for putting a Polanski movie as my number 1 and Going Places as my number 3. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody.
This is the one that would make it on people's lists.
Yeah.
Right? Rosemary's Baby is a good one.
Yeah, but that one's not one that connects with me that much.
It's interesting that Chinatown does. This is, to me, a perfect example of something that I get everything that is so great about it. And I like to think about the movie a lot. And it's a movie that I'll show people who haven't seen. But, yeah, I don't really respond to this movie I'm entertained by it, but I don't really respond on it. I guess emotional level would be the thing, even though I'm not even looking for an emotional response to this movie. But it's I don't, it's not my movie. It's...
For me, it's on my list because I love film noirs.
Yeah, that's true. You are a film noir person.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's the thing that connects me to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for justifying your pick. I now accept that it makes sense that you picked it and I didn't.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, what is your number 1? Hopefully it's less of a boring pick than mine.
It's not the least boring pick ever. What do you think it is?
Oh my God, please don't say Thieves Like Us.
No, it's not Thieves Like Us.
Okay.
But that's a great movie.
I did not like that movie.
You didn't like it at all? I thought it was so good.
Oh wait, I know what your number 1 is.
Yeah.
Your number 1 is A Woman Under the Influence.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't worry about putting it on my top 5 because I knew it would be on yours. And it's more your movie than my movie. But
sure.
I acknowledge that it is a great film. So, Sam, describe A Woman Under the Influence and why it's on your number 1.
A Woman Under the Influence is a film in which Jenna Rollins, the wife of director John Cassavetes, who made the film, portrays a housewife who is breaking down, and a housewife who is suffering severe emotional problems, and she's married to Peter Falk, who is a loving in his way, but also extremely gruff and not emotionally mature construction worker. And this is the John Cassavetes film. I would say. It's the first one that I saw, and it's still my favorite.
The first Cassavetes film.
The first Cassavetes film I saw. John Cassavetes is widely considered the father of independent film, which was what kind of got me into movies when I was a kid, 90s indie. And Cassavetes has always loomed very large. And yeah, it's because he has this down and dirty style where he's working out what's going to happen with the actors. They do a lot of like improvisatory exercises. This is all of an outgrowth, and I would say 1974 is kind of the year of the Actors Studio, kind of like making it really big. Like this is all an outgrowth of like Actors Studio exercises and stuff, which Jenna Rollins and Peter Falk had gone to. And it's a similar kind of thing to Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. So I can't believe we didn't talk about A Woman Under the Influence when we did the Alice Doesn't Live Here episode. Because there's such similar roles of like two actor studio-y women playing women of a certain age, playing wives and mothers who are sort of losing it. So like this is kind of a thing, is like women are kind of going a little crazy right there in the suburbs, aren't they, right? But to me, Jenna Rollins in A Woman Under the Influence, this is like perhaps the greatest screen performance that I've ever seen. By comparison to Ellen Burstyn in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which is like the kind of hammy version where Jenna Rollins in Woman Under the Influence is extremely behavioral. As you said, you really feel like she has spent some time with people who have actual emotional problems because it's really uncanny. And some of these scenes play out in just the kind of awkwardness where like you're realizing this family member or this person that you know, like she seemed normal a second ago, but now she's kind of creeping me out, and her husband's acting weird, but I can't tell if I can't tell if he gets that it's weird too. And it's just it's explosively discomforting. And she is like the best actor in movies of all time.
I saw this movie for the first time a couple months ago, and it was amazing. The scenes for me went on a tad too long.
There's a lot of screaming and like crying and running back and forth through rooms.
It's a film that's very, very indulgent with its improvisation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it does an amazing job of depicting certain things. Peter Falk, he has this twinkle in his eye that is just so good. And Jenna Rollins is a master at her craft. And
they would be my best actor and actress of the year. Do you have any thoughts on who you would pick?
Maybe Faye Dunaway. But no, I guess Jenna Rollins deserves it. For best actor, I mean, Art Carney is really good at Harry and Tonto. But Peter Falk is, yeah, I guess those two. Peter Falk and
yeah, come
Jenna
on.
Rollins. Yeah.
Give it to
Yeah. Okay, that's our top 5.
74. Kind of, it's just like some weird lists. Do you want to talk about like what the best picture winners are, or what like the highest grossing movies of the year were? I feel like we've kind of like thrown out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, okay, well, first of all, we only had one overlap, and that was Blazing Saddles.
Right. Yeah. And a half of an overlap, I guess that counts of on your end.
So that's pretty fun. Yeah. I was worried we'd have like a lot of overlap.
I was the foreign film person this year.
I know. How many of yours were foreign films? 2, but that's still better than my one.
2, and Cassavetes is one of these figures that he's a new Hollywood guy. He was also a famous actor. Like he was in Rosemary's Baby. He plays the husband in Rosemary's Baby. But he, obviously he existed outside of the system in a way that, makes him a part of the trend, but also separate in a way that you could count it as that's more art house, even though Rollins was nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars.
Well, okay, we can talk about Best Picture winner, because let's talk about those 2 films that we've mentioned that didn't show up on either of our lists, and that's The Conversation and Godfather Part 2. Both Coppola films.
Yeah.
And Godfather Part 2 won Best Picture. I mean, I think they're great films. I just didn't connect with them.
I've never been a Godfather person, but I did recently rewatch the first one, and I was like, you know what? Pretty fucking good. I was like, this is a pretty great movie. You know what is lacking in the second one? The performance of Marlon Brando looms very large, in my opinion, in the first movie, and it's quite a lot of the joy that I get out of the first movie is specifically his performance. I don't get a lot of joy from Al Pacino as Michael.
No, I think Al Pacino's Michael works so well when he's like on the sidelines, like simmering there with an intensity in his eyes, but he's kind of on the side. Like when he's the main person. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not as fun. I mean, I don't want to like spend too much time on this. Like we'll have its own episode for it for sure. But it is a maximalist movie that looks good and just didn't connect with me. And I thought it was boring, to be honest.
I don't know if we need the prequel shit in there. Like,
yeah,
he's good, but it's like none of they're both kind of an incomplete story to me.
I know the juxtaposition was not powerful at all for me.
These are true. This is kind of the most interesting stuff on the podcast so far. Like that we're saying these are very contrarian opinions, I guess, about Godfather 2. But it's like they seem so obvious to me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways.
And the conversation, I do need to rewatch it, okay? But I know it didn't grip me the first time I saw it, so.
So the conversation, that was an edge case for me. Selena Julie edged out the conversation. That's basically a top 5 movie for me. Anyways, you want to do more honorable mentions?
Yeah, can I just run through some of mine?
Sure.
I had fun watching Towering Inferno, which was the top grossing movie of 1974.
And also nominated for Best Picture. The Best Picture nominations were both Coppola's, Chinatown, Towering Inferno, and then what was the other one?
Lenny.
Right, Lenny. Did you watch Lenny?
No, I didn't watch Lenny.
No, I haven't seen Lenny in a long time. I knew it wasn't going to be on our list.
But the Towering Inferno is just a blockbustery disaster film. It's got Paul Newman and Steve McQueen, so it's fun to watch them in it.
And O.J. Simpson.
And O.J. Simpson.
It's star-studded. Right. It's got a lot of people in it.
Yeah, it's very star-studded. It's about a giant skyscraper that catches on fire, and they're trying to save everybody before the skyscraper collapses. And I've got to be honest, it was pretty harrowing to watch in a post-9/11 world. I bet
Towering Inferno hit you.
It did, just like... I know I was young during that.
No, you were very affected by the Falling Man picture.
Yeah.
Right.
It really just scarred my soul in a way. So watching the Towering Inferno, like, it was a little hard. But it's a fun movie, and it's fun seeing Steve McQueen and Paul Newman interacting together. Like, hey, we're both super competent, good at what we do. And
yeah, that was kind of the vibe. They're just like, you're the one other guy that I trust around here.
Yeah. So it was fun.
I wouldn't know if I would call it fun, but I thought it was certainly a movie that I was giggling a lot during.
I also really enjoyed watching Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
You're just in the bag for any of that shit.
I just love that shit so much. It's so good. Uptown Saturday Night, I would say, is not a great movie, but it wins my Best Dressed award. It was like the best 1970s outfits. That was really fun. I'm surprised Phantom of the Paradise wasn't on your list at all.
You're surprised it wasn't on my list?
Yeah.
That was the movie that I was kind of tiptoeing around at the beginning, where I was like, even a movie like that, you would think would have some personal appeal for me because it's so weird. But even a movie like, it felt just like another Godfather 2 Conversation Chinatown.
Really?
Yeah, kind of to me. Like a thing where I'm like, I respect it, but I don't really love it.
That's so weird. I thought you loved that movie.
No. I thought it was good. But
I think that's my favorite Brian De Palma movie I've seen so far.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's very Rocky horror.
Oh yeah, Rocky horror. Yeah,
you just looked at me like,
I thought you meant Rocky Balboa, and I haven't
Rocky?
seen the Rocky Balboa movie.
You're like, maybe it is very similar.
I thought it was fun, but not that pleasant to watch.
I think my problem with it is I just don't like the music.
You don't like the music?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Rocky has good music.
Okay, I have 2 other films that I want to briefly mention, and they're both very experimental, out there films that are on my honorable mentions just because they are really interesting time capsules. Space is the Place.
Oh, yeah? You watched it?
I did watch it. Criterion Channel started doing this thing where they just will stream a movie randomly that you can just jump into and then go back to the beginning
TV.
of. Like live TV, yeah, and stuff that you can't necessarily find on their streaming platform. Oh. So that's fun. So if you don't want to have to decide on what to watch, you can just go onto the Criterion Channel and see what they're playing. And I tried that, and it turned out to be a 1974 film, Space is the Place, which is an Afrofuturist science fiction film. It was really cool, very out there and experimental and just cool. And then the other movie I wanted to mention is this Japanese movie called Extreme Private Eros, Love Song 1974. That's the whole title. And it's a documentary about a Japanese filmmaker whose wife leaves him. And so then he decides he wants to make a documentary about her because she leaves him so that she can discover herself and her sexuality and her independence and her place in life. So she's just like this hippie Japanese chick just trying to go off on her own.
Wait, is it actually the wife in the movie?
Yeah, it's a documentary. Yeah.
Oh, it's a documentary. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
It's just actually the filmmaker, filming his wife.
That's very
hooking up with chicks.
That sounds
and other men.
so cool.
It's very cool, but also boring, to be honest.
All right.
The sound quality is terrible. It's really hard to follow the different threads of the movie, and it's also kind of racist. It's racist against Black American soldiers. The Japanese women are being racist towards them. And you watch 2 live births happen, but it's just this fascinating time capsule.
A time capsule. People should make more movies about like their partners when they go through crazy shit now. Why did people not even do that anymore? Like, nobody's discovering the counterculture anymore now.
Yeah, there's
right?
no counterculture.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, that's all my honorable mentions. Sorry, that was a lot. Sam, do you have any 1974 honorable
Very
mentions?
few. Yeah, Chinatown Conversation, Godfather Part 2, you gotta give it up. Thieves Like Us and California Split, I seriously thought about, putting one or the other on the list. I'm a Altman super fan, but they're both extremely well made. Thieves Like Us is beautifully shot, wonderful performances, great Shelley Duvall stuff in there. I had to think briefly about Scenes from a Marriage. It didn't seem like that came into play for you at all, or...
It's not my favorite Bergman. I thought it was great.
Yeah, same.
But painful to watch.
The characters are kind of nasty for a Bergman movie.
Yeah.
In a way that is not what I look to for him.
Yeah.
But here's the one that really was knocking at the door, other than The Conversation, of my top 5.
Okay.
Blood for Dracula, the Paul Morrissey, Andy Warhol produced film. A seminal movie for me. It's truly not a great film in any real sense, other than the fact that it has a lot of interesting sexual politics. I didn't rewatch it. I would be interested to see if I thought that it was like more fucked up than it was when I was younger. But I think it's a really cool movie. Very funny version of Dracula. He's an aging, sickly count who requires the blood of a virgin to live. Unfortunately, it's 1974, so virgins kind of hard to come by. But you'll laugh, right? See, it's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And,
it's funny.
It's funny. And so, yeah, it's a good movie. It's got great Joe D'Alessandro being super hot and naked. He's hilariously depicted as a communist in the movie in a way that's kind of just very funny, and I don't know. It's a funny movie. I highly recommend anybody watching. I love this movie. A little bit not quite as good in any real way as some of these other movies, though, that could justify that.
Okay, wait, so you recommend it for anybody?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
I haven't seen it. I've seen Flesh for Frankenstein, which is the other famous Paul Morrissey film, and it was very gory. Is Blood for Dracula also gory?
I've actually not seen Flesh for Frankenstein. I wouldn't say Blood for Dracula is very gory.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. You've got this throw up phobia.
Yes.
There's a common joke in Blood for Dracula where he like try and bite somebody's neck, but she's a hua. And so he just starts throwing up blood a lot, and it's really funny. I don't know. I can't get it. Would that gross you out?
It depends on how it's done.
Yeah.
Throwing up blood is not quite as bad for me as just straight up puke in terms of my phobia. But it depends on the sounds they use, how much they show it. That kind
I feel like it was kind of realistic. Okay, so Blood for Dracula. That's the end of 74. Any thoughts about 74 you wanna say?
It's not the strongest year ever, although it has like some top films that we think of when we think of New Hollywood, but it's also not the weakest year ever. It's middle of the road New Hollywood, which is better than most other years in the history of cinema.
Yeah, there's probably like a lot of effort getting concentrated within these small spheres of these very specific directors who are being codified as the ones who are going to have a lot of the power. And then other interesting stuff is happening in the B-movie world or the indie movie world. But a lot of the movies that come out are just really famous, and like you all know them, and people still watch them every day, all the time. They're kind of a part of American culture.
Okay, now on to 2024. Sam, how many 2024 films did you watch?
I watched 60.
60?
Yeah, I was honestly kind of amazed that I watched that many movies in this dog shit year of film.
I watched 66.
You did?
I watched more movies than you did. This never happens. You spend so much time watching movies. It's impossible for me to keep up.
Well, how many movies in total did you watch this year? Do you want to do this?
Oh, sure. Okay, so the total number of movies I've watched this year, not including rewatches because I just don't have that statistic.
Okay.
So the number of movies I watched this year that I had never seen before, regardless of what year the movie came from, was 172.
Mine was 150.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I will say during Christmas time,
You're loading up.
Yeah, I just watched so many Christmas movies back to back. So, that helps me out a little bit with my numbers, I think.
Yeah, and to be fair, 150 films that I watched that I hadn't seen before, but I watched in total 349 films this
That's
year.
crazy.
Yes.
So you rewatched films more than you watched new ones this year.
Honey, it's hard not to. I've seen most fucking good movies that exist.
You've seen so many movies.
I'm not out here racking up Netflix Christmas movie numbers on that front. Although when I was coming into the home stretch of recording this episode, there's always movies that it's okay, I got to see this that I didn't see that, and I just kept not feeling motivated to see them. And to me, I was just okay, well then that's just part of the narrative of this year. Is I feel like the movies didn't get me. They didn't suck me in. But then I'm looking at it and I guess I watched 60 movies. You know what I mean? How did I get? I was impressed with myself that I'd even watched that many movies because I was having the feeling the past couple weeks that I was oh God, there's so many movies I haven't seen. But I guess it's not really true.
Honestly, it felt a little restrictive to feel okay, I want to go watch a movie. It should probably be a 1974 or a 2024 film. I wish I felt a little less pressure. And so that I can just watch what I want to watch. I sometimes doing a film podcast, you spend most of your time just watching stuff for the podcast. And I love this podcast. I love it so much, but it does take away a little bit of the joy of watching movies. But at the same time, it adds so much to the experience of watching movies because it makes everything more enriching. So it's a give and a take.
Yeah, that's a good point. These years are weirdly twinned, I think, not just because they're 50 years apart and we're doing an episode on them, but because I felt the lack of motivation about both of these years in a way that I did not feel with last year's 2 years, 73 and 23. I might be imagining this, but we've said kind of our take on 74, and we have the same take, you and I, right?
Yeah.
A lot of movies that we respect more than love.
Yeah.
Those movies weren't inspiring me to wanna, and then you say we try and seek out the hidden gems, and it's not that great. It's 11 Harrow House, which is just a totally shitty movie. And I feel 2024, I ultimately had to accept, you know what? If I don't want to watch that many movies, that is the story of this year in film. I will say one thing, and I'll re-bring this up when we talk about movies that are honorable mentions, because these are obviously, I'm saying a thing about movies that didn't make my list. This was kind of a year of some big disappointments.
Yeah.
For me.
Yes.
A lot of movies I was looking forward to and assuming for most of the year were going to make their way onto my list are nowhere to be found. Nowhere even close to being on my list.
I know what you mean.
So, yeah. All right. You want to go? You want to start?
I started last time.
Okay, so I start?
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 5, this, if I wanted to be like you, I could say it's a tie. But it would be even less sensical than if you did, because these are movies that do not share a director. They share a star. This is the number 5 slot for me is what I call the Timmy slot.
The what slot?
The Timmy slot.
Tinny slot?
Timmy
slot.
Yes.
Is it a South Park thing?
Yes, I'm referencing Timmy. No, Timmy Chalamet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying it's kind of battling, Dune 2 and A Complete Unknown are kind of battling it out.
Interesting.
And I guess I need to give space for both of them right now, so I am essentially...
You basically have a tie.
Thing.
Don't shit on me. You just gave me a tie.
Well, no, it's Dune 2 is a movie that I was really looking forward to and was in no way disappointed by, but I think afterwards it has receded from memory in a way that kind of can't be denied. It's a movie that I really was very pleased by and satisfied by, and it just hasn't kind of stuck with me, even though it's obviously kind of a better movie than A Complete Unknown, which is the new Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothy Chalamet. And so I guess I'm just going to say it's complete unknown, because that's kind of what I'm feeling in my heart of hearts. Okay? So where we're at with music biopics is fascinating to me. This is a film directed by James Mangold, the director of Walk the Line, maybe the most famous paradigmatic music biopic of the aughts. And now I would say he's making a music biopic that's a little bit different, even though it does also have Johnny Cash in this movie. I really think there's something that people didn't talk about enough with the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, because it was so mired in controversy. I think that movie kind of really opened up a new avenue for biopics to be less wedded to personal dramas and trying to tell a story or make a story out of a real-life figure's life. And instead, because Queen is a band that has so many famous songs, like really famous songs, and a lot of them compared to most artists, they needed to get to all of these songs and just kind of like, okay, like they have like one part in that movie where they're having an argument and then somebody interrupts the argument by just writing another one bites the dust. Because they're like, okay, we just have to get to that song, okay? And the problem with that movie is that the music of Queen does not really reflect anything about the members of Queen in a real way, I would say. And the music of Bob Dylan is probably the best place to start with trying to understand who Bob Dylan is, right? He's a famously enigmatic figure. There's already been a music biopic treatment given to him. I'm Not There, the Todd Haynes movie, which is kaleidoscopic and weird, and there's nothing linear about it. It's just all these different people playing Bob Dylan in different eras.
Do you like that one?
I love that movie. This movie is the different approach. We were ready, in my opinion, for a straight down the line Dylan biopic. It's 60 to 65. It's him going electric. That's the story. And you get to hear a bajillion songs, and most of the movie is just people kind of staring at him as he's playing the songs, going like, holy fuck. And that would be bad if that wasn't exactly the experience of liking Bob Dylan's music. It gives me a lot of stuff to chew on because his lyrics, are so dense, and they did a light enough touch, I think. There's one scene where he's singing It Ain't Me, Babe in a duet with Joan Baez, and his girlfriend is watching, and it's all, it's this, he's saying It Ain't Me, Babe to Joan, and also she saying it to folk music and saying it to his girlfriend. It's very multi-layered, but it's still subtle, I like it. I think it's a great movie. A little silly in some ways. I don't know. Timmy's okay. He's not amazing, but I really responded to it. And I watched it recently, so maybe it'll fade to like Dune 2 did. But
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't talk on it. I'm totally sick of biopics. I feel like they're very limiting, but I should watch it. I don't love biopics. I don't love Bob Dylan,
right.
And I feel lukewarm about Timothée Chalamet. So it's kind of like not aimed at me, but I do want to see it.
Sorry that I made it a tie inadvertently.
I'm happy you did.
Such different
I feel
movies.
Justified.
Okay. You feel less guilty now.
My number 5 is a movie that's only tentatively on my top 5. Honestly, it's on my top 5 because there was nothing better to beat it out. So it's The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot is about a robot that finds a baby bird and raises it. I think this movie was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful filmmaking in terms of story and the way it looked, even though I just, kind of shat on the idea of picking something that just looks nice. But I thought it was unique. It was a little too saccharine for my taste, and I kind of wish it didn't have any dialogue. I wish it told the whole story visually.
That was kind of a trend in movies this year, by the way. Animated movies without dialogue.
Yeah.
It was like Flow, Robot Dreams.
Right.
This, like a lot of things.
I haven't seen Flow yet.
And Hundreds of Beavers, too.
And Hundreds of Beavers,
Yeah.
You're totally right. I wanted to see Flow, just didn't get the chance. Maybe that would have beat out Wild Robot. But Wild Robot was gorgeous.
My number 4 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, this I was going to have as my number 5, but I decided to go with... I decided to go with Wild Robot just because... it's not a franchise, so I feel motivated to reward non-franchise movies. But, we had our Planet of the Apes episode.
You can hear us talk about that.
Yeah.
We talk extensively about this particular entry, which I think is possibly my favorite. I think it might be this. It's my favorite of these modern movies, and it might be my favorite movie. I don't know if I like it more than the original Planet of the Apes, but I love this movie. I thought it was totally successful. Every time I think about just William H. Macy's presence in the film, I'm like, yes, that was a wonderful thing we witnessed.
It was a great movie, and I wish more people saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hit. They're going to make more.
But I felt like it underperformed a little bit.
They always do, these Apes movies. They're
just sad.
Yeah, but it's like they're a critical darling, and they're too. And I guess this one actually was. I think this one got more criticism than some of the other ones. I think some people said, I heard a thing that like they didn't like, the early stuff with the birds and the quest. Somebody said there was that's like a classic YA trope that you have to do your little proving yourself to the village.
It felt like maybe a little formulaic, but pulled it off really well. Like, it just felt like a classic movie.
It felt like an effectively made Hollywood product.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
My number 4 is a movie that is very much a throwback film, like kind of like a 90s throwback, and it is Snack Shack.
That's your number 4?
Yes.
Wow, okay. It's
just a small movie and well done, and I liked it.
It was a really good movie.
And this is another one on my list where it's like, it's on there because nothing else beat it out.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like the 4:30 movie. This is kind of a...
I thought it was way better than the 4:30 movie.
Oh, yes, much better.
Yeah. And Snack Shack is 2 teen boys trying to earn money over the summer while flirting with chicks.
Yeah, and they're charmingly entrepreneurial teenage boys.
Yes.
That's the hook for Snack Shack. Is all they care about is making money.
Yeah, and they're good at it.
And they're good at it in a way that's kind of cute for teen boys.
Yeah, and they're cool. They fast talking.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a real bantery movie. I think my problem with Snack Shack is, A, I really didn't like the romance.
Sure.
And B, there's like a, how do I put this? There's a weepy aspect to it that is both a little bit out of nowhere, but also extremely telegraphed throughout the whole movie.
Way too sappy.
In a way that is just kind of like, I'm like, that's your ending, dude? Like, so, I don't know.
I fully agree with that. It's on my list it's a little bit here because I am rewarding small movies.
Great acting, great performances. That kid, the one friend, he's having a hot year. He played Lorne Michaels in Saturday Night. He's really good. The kid from The Fabelmans who played young Steven Spielberg. He's got it. He's got it.
Okay, what's your number 3? I'm like not that enthused about the movies on my list.
No,
I have less to say about them because they're like, yeah, that's on my list. I don't love them, but they're on my list.
With the 74 lists, there's a lot more movies that didn't make it on that I bet we'll both be like, no, but this is like a really good, it's like, I didn't put Chinatown on my list, but like, I would recommend that movie to any person.
Right.
And Godfather 2, it's like, you gotta give it up, but like, it doesn't represent us.
Yeah.
With this, I'm more juggling a bunch of different things that it's like, do I like that more than that? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I guess I do, but I don't like that much. So
right.
My number 3 is Janet Planet.
Cool. This is one of my honorable mentions.
Okay. Sure. Because this is such a weak year, there were a lot of movies that I was kind of looking forward to, as you always have to do whenever you're doing these movie lists, because they dump them all at the fucking end of the year and stuff for the most part. And you kind of like, I had these things of like, okay, so I'm assuming because I'm such an Annie Baker fan that I'm gonna love Janet Planet and put it on my list, and I did. And like that, it was kind of a little bit of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. What's Janet Planet about? Like, briefly.
Janet Planet is about a mother who's a little bit unlucky in love and her weird daughter in the 90s living a sort of hippie-ish adjacent lifestyle. And the mother kind of figuring out what she wants and sort of bouncing around from different men and women and alternative lifestyles. Annie Baker is brilliant. Her work is a version of, it's something close to mumblecore, but it has so much more of a deliberateness to it.
No, she's a playwright primarily, right?
Yes.
Was this her first film?
Yes.
Okay.
An extremely strong first film, I would say. Very assured. There's always been an aspect to... So Annie Baker's this playwright. She's kind of one of the most famous playwrights right now. She has a very distinctive style. She has a lot of pauses in her plays that are like written out to be like go on very long, like way longer than you would normally let happen in another play. And, she's often talked about like feeling a certain amount of not being able to control and fine tune the way that her plays are presented in the way that she would want to, because plays are live and there's so many elements and every night something goes wrong. So, I've been waiting for her to make a movie for so long because I feel like she has this meticulousness of sensibility. And yeah, it was all present there in the movie. Great writing, great sense of letting things sit there, but also beautiful lighting and beautiful colors. I feel like she's probably been wanting to make movies forever, and I think she's ready. I think she's here and she's doing it. She's killing it.
Okay, my number 3 maybe is higher up on your list, so maybe we won't talk about it right now. My number 3 is Amelia Perez.
It's not on my list.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I thought it was really great.
Amelia Perez it's like an epic operatic musical. It's a Spanish language French musical crime comedy film by Jacques Audiard.
Genre bending is the order of the day with Amelia Perez.
Yes, and it's just really cool. It's got Selena Gomez in it.
A lot of people seem to think she's bad in the movie. I thought she was pretty good.
I didn't like her, but I don't love her acting. Especially after seeing her in Only Murders in the Building. I'm like just more aware of her limitations as an actress, and I see them everywhere now each time I see her in something. She's just so monotone.
Yeah. I mean, that is something that I don't like about film acting. I guess I kind of felt like it worked for the character. But it's got Zoe Saldana in a wonderful performance.
And Carla Sofia Gascon as the titular character, Amelia Perez, who should probably win something or get nominated at least.
Yeah, I think that movie's an Oscar player. It's a musical, but the music is terrible. I was gonna say, but this is not even a criticism. It is a musical only because it needs to have the tone of a musical. Like, the reason to me why it needs to be a musical is because then it can have this sort of heightened aspect and the characters can behave in a way that is a little more bold than you would expect from a straightforward movie. But the musical aspects are a little bit phoned in and just clearly secondary to almost everything else. Even the fact that it is a musical, the music itself is not important.
It's a lot like Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
Yeah.
It's just like they kind of sing their lines out loud.
Yes. It just gives you this extra sort of framing around the characters' behaviors.
And I don't know if I should tell you what the plot is. It's a wild plot. I went in not knowing what the plot was, and I was so surprised in a delightful way to realize what the plot was. And I was like, what is happening? So I don't even want to tell you what the plot is. If you don't already know, just watch it. It's very fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah, this is one I would recommend to most people, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Like, this
it's entertaining.
Moms would like it, you know. I guess. I don't know.
I thought it was very cool. Okay.
Great movie. Not on my list.
What is your number 3 or number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2.
It's the movie Wicked Part 1.
Okay. Well, that one is higher up on my list. Oh, okay. There's only one slot left. So that's my number 1. So let's wait
My
until we
powers
get
of
to
deduction. Yes. Okay. Fine. So you want me to give you my number 1? Or no, you give your number 2?
I guess I give my number 2.
Okay.
My number 2 is The Sweet East.
That's a 2023 movie.
No. This is like not fair. It was really we saw it in theaters in 2024. Uh-huh. It was released theatrically in the US on December 1st, 2023. So it is barely a 2023 film. I'm counting it as a 2024 film because it was not available in theaters near us anywhere until 2024.
I'm happy that you have this movie on your list.
It is like a limited release type film. Like, it did not play in all theaters, and our indie cinema played it in 2024.
So this is the pick that I guess that will be remembered, right? This is like the most interesting pick probably of yours or mine, maybe so far. Like this is like a bit of a swing.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I think you like this movie a lot more than I do.
I was surprised you didn't like it more when we got out of it.
I've liked it less and less the more.
I loved it.
I rewatched it too.
You did?
Yeah.
I thought it was very cool. Being from the Northeast, I certainly appreciated just seeing the northeasteriness of it because it's a road
starts in
movie.
Washington D.C., where I'm from.
Yeah, but then it goes north.
Yeah, and then it goes further north than you lived.
Yeah, that's true.
It's about the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
The Sweet East, as the title suggests.
It's just this weird movie about this girl who just doesn't give a shit about anything in life, and she's just encountering all these like radical groups, and she is observing them, but it's just not engaged with any of it. And so it's a movie about being detached, and I don't like her as a character. I don't like people who are just so detached like that. It felt very like younger generation.
Oh, really? No, it was like written by somebody who's like older than me, and I can totally tell. I think we have different readings, but
Maybe.
but it's a cool movie, and like I like that you like it. Like
It's cool.
I'm just gonna spoil the last shot of this movie. Is the girl walks in front of a big American flag. So it's a movie that is telling you about America.
Yeah.
Right now, and that's
in a bad light.
Yeah, but it's like it's about she takes a journey through the original 13 colonies, right?
Oh,
The sweetie, yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
No, it's all about America, and
Yeah.
it's about these different sort of warring visions of America that exist out there. And it's
Right.
got a sort of, it would say, smirk on its face about a lot of discourse that is happening
Yes.
in the modern American landscape. And I would argue it maybe
You think
doesn't
it's
exactly
eye-rolling.
add too much to the discourse other than like scoffing at various perspectives. Do you know what I mean?
Don't disagree with you. I still thought it was a cool movie.
It was very cool, and the I loved having the experience play upon me.
Yeah. I feel stupid now knowing it's technically a 2023 movie, but you have to give me a little bit of slack. It's not fair when some of these movies do not play at the majority of cinemas.
You had some provocative movies on your lists,
Yes, I'm proud of myself.
especially Wicked, which is just like, that's a story that really has a lot to say about like culture. I don't know if you realize this, but it has a lot to say about.
Do you want to go
culture.
ahead and talk about Wicked first? Because
So that when then we can have some mystery for what my number one movie is.
yeah.
You don't know what it is?
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Wicked.
Wicked. I just thought it was amazing and I loved it so much. I was like instantly crying as I was watching. I already loved the musical. I'd seen it on Broadway twice because I'm a spoiled little bitch for being able to see. I feel like
You just live near New York.
yeah,
though,
that's
too.
the thing.
Like that's
I
kind
just
of
grew
a
up
treat
near
that you
New
got to
York.
have.
Yeah, I just love it. I think it's super emotional. I was fully prepared to be disappointed by it, and I was not at all. They just did an amazing job, and I loved it so much. I immediately rewatched it in theaters after I saw it the first time. So yeah, I loved it. What were your thoughts?
So I don't love the show. I'm a huge musical theater super fan, and Wicked came out right at the moment when my super fandom was taking hold. It's an extremely formative show. I have seen it. I have listened to the cast album many, many times. I know the show very well. As we got closer to the premiere of the movie, the more I was thinking about it, I was like, this seems like it's going to be really good, you know? Like, all of the things that people were making fun of Ariana Grande, I was like, she seems like she's going to be great, and then she totally was. The padded runtime, there are so many TV shows and movies. Think about how many things are split into two parts nowadays. It's all too common, I fully agree. To me, Wicked is one of the least egregious versions of this. Because it really is a self-contained act, the first act. And I really do think that the storytelling in the show is not perfect, and there's plenty of moments that did need a little bit more, let's really show, what we're trying to say with this, as opposed to kind of gliding past it, which I think does happen in the show a little bit. There is one extremely cringy moment that I think basically is the reason that people who don't like this movie really are, like, bothered and confounded by it. The part in Dancing Through Life where they're, like, hand dancing, having their connection moment.
Oh, really? People about
I think,
that?
yeah, I think people who don't like Wicked, they're like zero in on this, and they're like, you think that's supposed to like emotionally manipulate me? What are you even talking about? But to me, that's just like a kind of a mistake. This movie's not perfect.
Oh yeah, I mean
And
that wasn't
that part
as powerful as it was supposed to be.
Didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But there's so many moments where I was weeping.
I think this movie, honestly, is close to perfect.
Very close to perfect. But there's things about it that it does drag a little. It would be a lie to say it doesn't drag.
Yeah.
But the experience of the theater, I have not had, that kind of experience where I'm rushing to the bathroom 3/4 of the way in because, like, I know, like, this is like a lull and they're about to have like an amazing song that I can't miss, and then I rush past some woman coming out of the bathroom and we look at each other and we're both like, I know, right? This is crazy, and stuff, and we're just like, okay,
I know. I had the experience too. I went to the bathroom in the middle, and there was this girl who ran into the bathroom and then ran out, and I know she was watching Wicked,
right?
Because she didn't want to miss a second of it. I just watched Nosferatu, and I, in the middle, was like, I have to pee. I'm going to take my sweet ass time. I was walking slower than normal because I was like, there's still so much of this movie left. I'm bored as fuck. Like,
wishing you had to pee more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, what is your number one?
The Taste of Things.
Ew, really?
Yes, I can't
What?
believe you didn't like that movie.
No, I mean, okay, it is one of the best food movies ever. Like a really
It's the
excellent
best food movie
but
ever.
like, I did not like the characters. Like, I felt like it was really like silly in a lot of ways. Oh, I can't believe that's your number one.
No, this was so weird. When I was like watching it with you, because I'd seen it already, and then like you said you were going to be watching it, and I was like, oh, Elena's going to see the taste of things, and then like I was out and I came back for like the second half of it, and like I was just like watching it, just like so delighted, and then like they made one of their sort of highfalutin remarks, and you were just like, pfft. I'm like, wait, what? And you're just like, this is so stupid. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
I just
what do you
felt like
mean?
it was very. They just didn't feel like real characters. I felt like it was very fake. Like,
No.
all the characters were a little too pleased with themselves about how good the food was, and the dialogue was just so over the top with like really obvious exposition.
That's the whole point, though, is like, so it's okay. It's a movie that's about a love story between a gourmand and his cook in the 1800s. So yeah, it's like in the early days of food, and it's basically like this guy and his cook just hang out, talk about food. Sometimes his bros come over, they eat a good meal, they talk about film, and it's just like, I have what you're talking about, where they are so over the top in their descriptions of, and they're so expositional in when they're talking about the meal. I'm like, that's the way that people who like things really are like. That's the way that I am whenever I'm talking about Sondheim or something.
I can't believe that's your number one.
Number one with a bullet. I definitely I had such a beautiful experience watching this film in the theater.
I mean, I'm really happy for you.
You have nothing but disdain for my number one pick.
I'm sorry,
and,
I don't.
fine.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't care.
I just didn't like it.
It's the best
I
food
loved
movie
the
ever.
food. The food was great.
The first 20 minutes are
Amazing.
This epic meal that you watch them really cook. If you like watching food movies, this is the best one.
And it's a very textured film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could almost feel the wood in the kitchen and like the different metals they cook with. Like, it just really.
No, it's beautiful, and a beautiful romance, and sad too. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a little silly. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not going to shit on your number one anymore.
I really
already
just
have.
want to zero in that it's very. This is like a thing that like you do know that like they're intentionally showing those people that way, right? You're like laughing at them, but I don't know if you realize that it is supposed to be funny.
If you say so.
Okay, so you think it's not?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Just want to get so this is the difference of opinion.
Yeah.
That we have here.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to run through my honorable mentions?
Yeah. Let's blow through them.
Rumors. Remember that movie?
Yeah, that was cool.
I really thought about it. It's the new Guy Madden movie. It's like apocalyptic UN film. It's comedy. Toni Collette is super funny. The Vol de Lac.
Yeah, that one was too unpleasant for me.
Vampire movie.
It's gross, but yeah, if you like vampire, it was like French. What year?
It was like a revolution. It was like, late 1700s
Yeah.
kind of thing. So like Unfrosted and Megalopolis, these are two movies that I think got way too bad of a rap. Personally, like they're bonkers ideas and like true auteurist visions. And yeah, I don't know. I thought Unfrosted was like very weird and funny, and like it was like you could not have something that is more of an expression of Jerry Seinfeld's sensibility. So if you don't hate the last 3 seasons of Seinfeld, where he's the showrunner, it's like that, but in cartoon movie form almost. Megalopolis, this is just a movie that it's not hard to recommend to anybody, but he's writing about the Catalan conspiracy, the power broker, Ayn Randian shit. These are just things that I happen to know a little bit about. And he made a crazy movie that I watched, and I was like, I get what you're going. I get what you're talking about, man. It was like having the stoned person at the party ranting at you, but it's like you happen to find the right person for me. Like I get what you're talking about with Megalopolis.
Yeah, I feel like people did shit on it way too much. I think that's just reveals how much people are not open to weird stuff.
Right.
And people saying, oh, why did they talk like that? It's like, have you ever seen a Shakespeare play before? I don't know. Like, if you think it's just so unpalatable for you to watch people talk as if they're in a Shakespeare play.
Yeah, or
it's
like,
just weird to me that
mixed with John Voight doing a boner joke. And it's like, that's weird. It's like, yes.
that's the point.
I know. Like,
yeah, like I didn't think it was like amazing or anything, but I thought people were way too hard on it, and I enjoyed it.
I thought it was basically good.
Me too. Not great, but good.
I'm continuing to be fatigued by Adam Driver. He's not somebody
Yes.
that I'm needing to see in any real movie. Like, you're gonna
Both
have
of
to
the
really
leads.
work hard to find. No, I kind of liked her actually, Natalie Emanuel or whatever.
I didn't, but I love
She's kind of boring, but kind of in a good way.
Shia LaBeouf and Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza kills it. LaBeouf, Voight, they're all great in
Yeah.
it. And okay, so here's the movie that I wish that I could have put on my list. I wish I liked it a little bit more,
I think I know where you're going.
but I got to talk about it because it's Civil War.
Oh, that's not what I thought.
What did you think I was going to talk about?
I thought you were going to say I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh no, that movie I don't really like.
I really liked what it was going for.
No. That movie's gonna go. I can do my Civil War bit now.
Yeah.
But then that movie's going in my disappointments bag.
Okay.
Civil War. This is a movie that it's not a great movie, but it was so hilariously misunderstood by the public and like people seem to want something totally crazy instead of what the movie actually is. And they're just like so pissed off that the movie isn't what they wanted it to be that it just kind of makes the movie better and better the more that the more that it's effectively able to troll people in this way. Like, so basically this movie is about it's about two things. One, it's basically anti-war, and two, it's basically saying, are we taking on board the fact that war journalists, while perhaps necessary, is also probably kind of a fucked up psychological profile as far as people go? Like, war photojournalism, is this a good thing? Is this something that we're, accepting how dark the reality of the people who do this is? I don't know, So it's a movie that's basically just saying war is bad. And the response that it gets is like, well, what do you mean? Like, what kind of war are you saying is bad, man? Like, obviously, like, we all agree, like, some wars are good. Like, when the good guys kill the bad guys. Are you saying that it's, like, bad then, too? And the movie's kind of like, yes. Like, that is bad. And they're like, okay, well, this is obviously, like, this guy doesn't understand anything about America. He's saying California and Texas would be in a thing together. That's bullshit. I'm like, why is that bullshit? What are you talking about? Anything can happen. It's a movie that's just showing wartime footage in a footlocker. If you think that stuff belongs overseas but doesn't belong in America and there's nothing to be, gained from thinking about what it would look like in an urban warfare in America, like, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I don't get why people think that this movie needs to be about like liberals and conservatives fighting over Trump, and then that would make it a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. People's criticisms of it were weird. My thing about it was when I was watching it, I felt like there were certain scenes as I was watching that I could tell were written with the trailer in mind, and I didn't like that. I also really had to pee by the end of it, and so when I finally decided to pee, it turned out to be the very, very end of the movie. So I missed the ending.
The ending is pretty good.
I feel like I should go back and watch it. But yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah.
Okay. Disappointments pile?
Yeah, you don't have any other honorable mentions?
No. The rest of the ones are kind of dishonorable.
Okay.
Challengers, Saw the TV Glow, Anora. These are my three big disappointments. 3 movies I was looking forward to, and 3 movies that I saw and other people really liked. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I kind of agree with all of that. Even though I said I saw the TV Glow, I thought that one was really unique, really cool, but ultimately didn't capitalize on its coolness. Like, it was doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing, obviously, because they had a character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer make a cameo in it, but they did not do like the Buffy's Monster of the Week thing in there that they could have done, and I guess maybe that wasn't the point of it, but I just felt like they could have capitalized on that cool, unique idea more, but it was very unique, and so I appreciate that about it.
But that's what I'm saying. I was so psyched for when I saw the trailer for that movie. I was like, oh, hell yeah, here we go. I know this is going on my end of the year list.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie and I was like, no, this is kind of sad, and I like the performer, and I like some ideas in the movie, but not capitalizing on really any of the dynamics.
Yeah.
The relationship, friendship dynamics.
Right.
Or the toxic fandom, or the magical. It's just like all of it. I was like, I don't know. I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I don't I get the movie, but I didn't see the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And then Challengers is poly baiting. Both of us were not happy about that.
And sex baiting. People talk about this movie as like hot. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's not a moment of like sexual tension between two characters. There are moments where I look at a character in that movie and I'm like, that person's attractive. But then you put them with any other character and I'm like, the chemistry has gone out of the room. I'm not. Yeah. I don't like. I thought that movie sucked, basically.
And all of its attempts to do interesting filmmaking,
oh god,
I thought were really lame. I did not like the music.
I hated the soundtrack so much.
Yeah, me too. And I hated like those shots from like underneath the tennis like court where it was like a glass bot. I'm like, this is stupid. Like I don't know. It just didn't add anything. It just was an attempt to like be like, look how good the filmmaking is. But it just, yeah. I also was disappointed by it. And then what was the third one? Honora. We love Sean Baker so much, and I was so excited for Honora, but to me it felt like a rehashing of Tangerine. It did a lot of the similar things in Tangerine. I mean, just straight up like certain very minor plot things that happened that were just pulled from Tangerine, like a character suddenly like throwing up in a certain way. I'm obviously hyper aware of this kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't give me enough new stuff, but I do love Sean Baker.
I enjoy Mikey Madison, the star, in a general sort of way. This performance was extremely overhyped from my perspective.
They are overhyping it so much.
I do not get, but people say she's a shoo-in for Best Actress. That would be pretty silly to me.
Yeah.
The pacing is really off. Apparently the movie is allegorical about America and Russia. Might need to rewatch it and give a think to that. But no, I love Sean. Sean Baker's my favorite like young filmmaker. And yeah, I feel like he's getting a little bit stuck in a cul-de-sac of making his brand of movie that depicts the sort of sex worker underbelly. But it's like, I feel like he might have run out of things to say a little bit about it. And yeah, kind of a weirdly boring movie. I love Sean Baker. The disappointment is great with Honora. I was sure Honora was going to be on my list.
Me too.
Yeah, it's just like, didn't do it for me. Get me with the next one, Sean.
All right, I'm going to run through my honorable mentions. So, Wim Wenders' Perfect Days.
Not an honorable mention for me. I did not like that movie.
I thought it was fine. But I love Wim Wenders. I was thinking about this. Wim Wenders and Werner Herzog are two filmmakers who I consider some of my favorite filmmakers, but none of their films are top films for me. I love their stuff in aggregate. I think comparing Perfect Days to Alice in the Cities, which was a 1974 film, is cool because they're both very similar, both by Wim Wenders. They're both meditative and about quiet men who like to take photos, who find themselves platonically in the company of young girls. So that's kind of a weird similarity, but Alice in the Cities is black and white and like really rough and unpolished, whereas Perfect Days is like meticulously perfect in a technical level, just like the character is. But, you know, boring as all Wim Wenders movies kind of are. Okay, other honorable mentions. A Real Pain, I was pleasantly surprised by. That's that Jesse Eisenberg one that he wrote and directed.
Haven't seen it yet.
Also has Kieran Culkin in it, about two Jewish American cousins who go to Poland to, you know, connect with their roots and their Jewish identity and their grandmother. I thought that it captured certain aspects about humanity really well, and I thought it was a good movie. My Old Ass is a terrible, terrible title, but it surprised me a lot. It was kind of false advertising because they made it seem like it was going to be this big like Aubrey Plaza movie, but she's barely in it. It's basically a young adult film, like a young adult novel turned film. I don't actually know if it was based on a novel or not, but it has that feel to it. And so it's like young love with a little bit of like magical stuff thrown in. Hundreds of Beavers, I was super charmed by.
That's an honorable mention for me too. I missed. Sorry.
It was really impressive.
Yeah, it's that's a movie that's like, I really don't give a fuck about any of the stuff that it's concerned with, like squash and stretch, animation, silent. I guess I like silent movies, but like video games, a bro-y dude. But it is a masterpiece, essentially. So it's kind of like the least I've cared about a total masterpiece in a while. Yeah. But it is incredible.
And I don't know if it counts as a 2024 film. Yeah, it's one of those that has had such a slow. It like did the festival circuit for so long, and But I saw it in theaters in 2024, so I count it as a 2024 film.
That's the one that I was wondering might be on your list.
And I'm surprised The Substance wasn't on your list, but it's an honorable mention, but it was ultimately too unpleasant for me and too gory to make my list. All right, so we're comparing 1974 to 2024. In terms of like which one was better, maybe it's the best way is to compare our number 5s from each year and number 4s from each year, and we can try and do this very quickly. Mine will be real fast.
Yeah, I definitely think Celine and Julie Go Boating is better than A Complete Unknown, but maybe not better than Dune 2.
Which one? Well,
am I confusing myself? I decided A Complete Unknown was my number 5, so this is such a weird list I made. I think that Celine and Julie Go Boating is better than A Complete Unknown.
Okay, so keep track of your points. You got 1 point for 1974. For me, Harry and Tonto is better than The Wild Robot. So that's another point for 1974 on my end.
J'ai tu il el, I would say it's not... No, it is better than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? I don't know. It's kind of tricky.
It is tricky. Gun to your head, though.
Yeah, it's better than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
What?
It is.
I disagree.
It is.
What? It's your list.
Yeah, it is better.
Black Christmas is better than Snack Shack. So, another 1974 point.
Thunderbolt and Lightfoot is better than Janet Planet.
And Going Places is better than Amelia Perez. Sorry.
Wicked is better than... No, Wicked is not better than Blazing Saddles. Sorry.
So you're still...
So I'm still all 74, yeah.
Blazing Saddles / Young Frankenstein is better than The Sweet East. So far, all of our points have been 1974.
Yeah. Okay, A Woman Under the Influence is definitely better than The Taste of Things.
Yes.
We can both agree on this.
I'm going to say that Wicked is better than Chinatown in terms of my personal list because
That's a little crazy, but maybe.
I loved Wicked.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm going to bat for Chinatown.
Yeah.
So
I'm giving right. 1 point to 2024, but it's 4 points for 1974.
Wicked is the 1 point.
Wicked is the 1 point.
Okay.
So 1974 wins it for me, and it was a washout for you. It fully won.
No, I knew that it would, and this is like, it's these two fighters, these 2 years that I just feel very uninvested in who the winner is, because it's like, 74 won, but I'm not, but I guess I'm more passionate about it. We do love those new Hollywood films, don't we?
We're a new Hollywood podcast.
Yeah. Are we done? Are we ready to sail off into the beautiful future?
There might be a little bonus episode coming your way where we talk about Christmas movies of 2024 because I watched a fuck ton of them, and we'll have a special guest. My good friend Amira will join us, who is another Christmas movie aficionado. So look forward to that little bonus episode. That concludes another exciting new Hollywood adventure. Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Kill Your Idols on the podcatcher of your choice. May I suggest that you add one more thing to your list of New Year's resolutions, and that is to give more ratings or reviews to small podcasts like ours.
Yeah, change your life.
Yeah, come on. It is hugely helpful and requires very minimal effort on your end. We'd love to hear from you, so please reach out to us on Instagram, X, or send us an email to killyouridols@gmail.com. We want to say thank you to the Illuminator for our logo, and thank you to ourselves for everything else. Please join us next episode, not the bonus episode, but next episode, where we will be revisiting Hal Ashby with his delightful 1975 film, Shampoo, starring Warren Beatty doing what Warren Beatty does best, and that is sleeping with a bunch of women.
Hey, Peter Fonda, how did we do?
We blew it.
Marlon Brando, Ellen Burstyn, Robert Evans, and Shelley Duvall. Sad endings 'cause of Watergate.